Welcome to Hookreations crochet tutorial. In this video I will demonstrate how to effectively weave the ends of your yarn to give a professional finish look to your work. This process follows on from my colour change video. If you've seen this video, you will know that my preference is not to tie a knot in my yarn when completing a colour change. So this weaving in ends process will ensure that your work will not become undone as time goes by. To complete the weaving in, I recommend using a darning needle. Darning needles don't have a sharp point, so this will help you to avoid splitting your yarn during the weaving in process. I would also recommend leaving at least 10 to 15 centimeters of yarn when changing your colors or finishing your work to ensure that you've given yourself sufficient yarn to be able to complete the weave-in process correctly. So the process that I use, I'll demonstrate first on these two color change pieces. So before we get started, because I haven't knotted the yarn when I've completed the color change, I just take the two ends of the yarn where I have changed the color and just pull them tight, just to ensure that the stitches are as tight as they can be. So I'm going to start with the cream color, so I'm just going to thread my yarn onto the darning needle and give yourself a decent tail just so you don't lose the work or you lose the yarn as you're completing your weaving in. So to complete the process so your work doesn't become undone, what I do is take that darning needle and thread it through, I would say 5 to 6 stitches in the row, or as many as you might have available. So you can see that darning needle there, take that through and pull that tail through. So some people may choose to cut the yarn there, but because you've only pulled that yarn through one row of stitches, there is a chance that that could become undone and then unravel your work. So to secure the work, what I then do is re-thread that darning needle back through the work, but I go over the top of the last stitch. So you've got your last stitch here, insert that darning needle over the top into the next available stitch and back through the same stitches where you did the first time. Pull that darning needle through, and as you can see here, this part here, you've essentially locked in that loose end that you've stitched through. If you would like to be extra secure, you can do that again at the other end. So go over the top of the last stitch, back through and out the other end, pull that through, and you've essentially locked in that excess yarn into both ends. Now it's safe to pull that yarn tight, snip off that yarn, and you've finished that process. So I'll just show you again on the other part of that yarn that was from the color change. So we're just going to thread my needle, so I'm going to take that yarn through 4 or 5 stitches of that row, whatever's available, because I'm working with something that's got a bit of detail. There's not too many stitches available for me to work with. So I'm going to pull that yarn through gently. Now I'm going to come back again. I'm going to skip that first stitch and insert my needle into the next lot of stitches, So you can see there, because we've skipped that stitch, we're going to lock in that yarn, and I'll go back again one more time, back over the top, take that darning needle through the work, gently pull it through, and because we've skipped the first stitches at each end, that work can't become undone now. And just take our scissors, snip that yarn, and now you can't see the cut ends, and there's no way that that work can become undone. So I'll complete one more. I'm just going to pull that yarn tight to ensure the stitches are secure. Thread my darning needle. I'm going to thread that needle through the available stitches in that row and pull that through. And what I'm going to do is to seal that in. I'm going to skip the first stitch, go over the top, re-thread my needle back through, and I'm going to do it again at this end. So skip the first loop, insert my darning needle back through the rest of the work, back out the other end, gently pull that through, and just cut that excess yarn. So you can't see the cut yarn, and it's secured within the work so it won't become undone. Thank you for watching my tutorial. I have a number of tutorials available, so please subscribe to the Hookreations channel to receive updates on any new videos. If you have any questions or feedback, please contact me via the social media or email links below. Thank you for watching.